Have you heard that Texas now has school vouchers, but you're still wondering what that actually means? What is the voucher system? Can anyone get a voucher? How much money do you receive? And if you could get this money, can you suddenly just send your child to any private school that you want? If you're confused, you're definitely not the only one. So today I'm just going to break it all down without all the political noise. So you can decide if this program might be a good fit for you and your family. One thing I've learned after helping Houston families buy homes for the last 16 years is this. Schools are one of the biggest factors young families consider when deciding where to live. Many buyers start their home search focused on one neighborhood because of the schools that are zoned to that specific neighborhood. But if private school could be on the table, wouldn't that open the door to many more neighborhoods that you may not have even ever considered? That's why this new education freedom account program is so important. It could change the way some families think about where they want to live. If you're new here, my name is Meredith Davis. I'm the team lead for the Wildflower Properties Group with KSP. And on this channel, I simplify everything you need to know about living, buying, and owning a Houston home inside the 610 loop without overcomplicating it. Now let's talk about the Texas school vouchers. The first thing I want to clear up is one of the biggest misconceptions because technically Texas doesn't call them school vouchers. The official name is the Education Freedom Account, or EFA. Think of it like this. Instead of every education dollar automatically following your child to a public school where they get paid by your child's attendance, qualifying families can apply to have a portion of that money placed into an education freedom account. Those funds can be used towards approved educational expenses at participating private schools or other qualifying educational services like homeschooling. Who can apply? Any Texas family can apply, but if more families apply than there is available funding, the state uses priority groups that have already been established in the law. Generally, high priority is given to students with disabilities and to lower income families before other applicants are considered. How much money can families receive? The amount of money that you can receive will vary from year to year and from student to student. But for many students, it's designed to cover a substantial portion of private school tuition and other approved educational expenses. One thing to consider is this. Different programs may have different funding levels. What can the money be used for? Well, depending on the selected program and their rules, the approved expenses could include private or non-public school tuition and the fees that go along with that, private tutoring, online loaning programs, and it could also include textbooks or instructional materials, and it could also include things like computers, tablets, and the educational software that goes along with those things. It can also cover educational therapies and even some transportation costs. It's important to remember that not every private school participates in the program, and receiving an EFA does not automatically guarantee admission to a private school. Additionally, families still have to complete each school's admission process and meet the school's specific requirements. Here's a good question. Is there enough funding for everybody? And the answer is no. Unfortunately, there is not. First year enrollment, there was more than 85,000 student accounts that have been funded for the fall term, but there are over 121,000 applicants that are remaining on a waiting list due to program caps. Applications exceed available funding, the state will conduct a selection process based on the priorities that have already been established by law. The program does not use a first come, first serve system. Instead, applications are grouped by priority. First are lower income families with a child who has a disability. Next are lower income families with children who don't have disabilities, followed by households earning up to, here's a few numbers that'll jar you to help get the bigger picture. The family will have to meet the 500% of the federal poverty level. And for reference, the federal poverty level for a family of four is $33,000 a year. And then finally, if there's still funding available for families who earn higher incomes, they are considered at that point. That means applying early and understanding the application timeline and process along with the criteria is very important. Here's something I think is easy to overlook. A lot of people assume that this program means they can live anywhere because they'll just send their kid to private school. But choosing a home is about much more than just the tuition that you could receive from a program like this. You still have to think about the commute. What transportation will your child use to come and go from school? Will it be you or some other form of transportation? And what about after school activities? And where is your support system? Because it's important to be near that. It's very hard to get kids to and from a school that's super far away. But most important, you need to talk about whether that private school is actually the right fit for your child. I've had clients who happily chose public schools because they loved the neighborhood, and I've had others who specifically wanted private schools because they offered programs that matched their child's specific needs. There isn't one right answer. The best choice is the one that fits your family's priorities and your family's lifestyle. Hopefully this gives you a much clearer picture of how the Texas Education Freedom Accounts work. At the end of this video, you can find the links to several websites that can answer more questions if this is something you are interested in. Make sure to check out my next video because I'm sticking with education, but this time I'm talking specifically about Houston ISD. Do you know that your neighborhood school isn't always your only option? I'm going to explain exactly how HISD school choice lottery works, how families apply, and some common mistakes that can affect your chances. This video helps make a confusing topic easier to understand, then give it a like and a subscribe. And if you're planning to move to Houston and schools are part of your decision, I'd love to help you find the neighborhood that best fits your family. I'll see you in the next one.